So welcome back gamers, and today is KonoSuba God's blessing on this wonderful world. If you're a fan of KonoSuba, then this is most likely a game you will enjoy. If you aren't, then I don't think this is for you. This is an VN mixed together with a management game that works like pretty typical dating sim game. It is a spin-off to KonoSuba in which you join the typical cast of KonoSuba on a quest of creating clothing to complete quests and at the same time use the clothing pieces as gifts, as is the norm with dating sim games. To craft the different clothing options, you need to earn materials which you get by managing what type of work and quests the cast should complete. It doesn't have much of a story, other than with one focusing on having to create a clothing, and even though you have to increase the love points for different girls and you can get specific events with a chosen girl, it also doesn't get very romancy. This is the first of the 9 KonoSuba games, not counting the small devised game Fantastic Days, to get an English release, and we can only hope that this does well enough to make releasing at least 2 of other 8 games yet to be released in English viable. In particular, the 2 Engraton published dungeon crawlers, which in their own ways provide an even more authentic KonoSuba experience than the visual novel's time game can. Here's the thing, though, much like Kazuma himself, we're off to a bad start, held back by Bad and Ugly, 2 party members that make Aqua look like a genius. Bad is a party member we simply cannot shake, a product of modern Western sensibilities and the inability to separate fictional girls from real ones. As such, although Cless of Desire is a follow-up to the Greedy game, we will likely never see an English release of the Greedy game. Certainly not from the UK-based publisher who already feel about a nanny state that had to be product adults from anime girls by banning the English release of Omega Labyrinth Z. For you see, in the events of Greedy game, Kazuma is afflicted by a cursed earring and well, he accidentally steals a bunch of panties. The problems arise when he tries to figure out who each set belongs to. The first, a tiny black ensemble of mostly air, are the one and only pair of panties in megumin's possessions. Now, Western sensibilities and modern audiences can distinguish an Isekai from Earth. They expect all worlds, real and imaginary, to abide their own laws, which makes megumin a minor. And this same reasoning already led the aforementioned being of Omega Labyrinth Z. So like Darkness, we'll just have to accept we're stuck with Bad and show him out of front, take all the flag, only getting half the story. Now Ugly, on the other hand, Ugly could have been replaced with a much cuter girl called Austerling. Alice Austerling has never seen the outside of the noble home she's been raised in, but Ugly he's a street urchin, unwashed and unloved, and he just refuses to go it by unless you're firm with telling him to hop it. Sadly for us, no one bothered. So we see Ugly rearing his, well, Ugly face every screens. He shows up in the form of typos and in the manifestation of poor localization. It's mostly a lighthearted KonoSuba spin-off that gives you a small funny sense with all of the character cast to enjoy, and the sense you get depend on what clothing pieces you create. It doesn't have much a big story or a crazy development. The art and voice acting is really nice though and features the original voice actors, so the game is pretty sweet for any fans of the series. Overall, it's a nice game for fans, but also it's a little expensive as a single playthrough. You won't even take 10 hours. And even though there are characters routes for pretty much everyone, the routes themselves will not take you all that much time once you finish your first playthrough. So thank you guys for watching this review, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and see you in the next games.